A while ago, I did the NT500 in my camper van, and en route I stopped at the most northerly point of mainland UK, and that was Dunning Head. Today sees me in Aberdeen at the Northlink ferry terminal, and my intention is to jump on board and head to the most northerly part of the entire UK, and that is the Shetland Islands. In particular, the South Island, the island of Uyea, and the North Island of Unst, if I've pronounced that properly. Now, followers of my channel will know that I like to embark on van life, and I've got a camper van for that. I like different types of hostels and hotels around the world, and more recently I've embarked on some long distance walking and wild camping. I've even thrown in a extreme day trip here or there, but on this occasion I've decided to rough it and live completely out of my Landrover Defender. No, not that Landrover Defender, this Landrover Defender. Now, I've had this a while, and as you can see, it's been built for more involved and rugged types of trips. It's basically a stripped out camper with no creature comforts, just a fridge, an inverter which is connected to the solar panels on the roof, and actually the roof is the tent. But enough of that. In order to get to Shetland from Aberdeen, you can either take the route through Orkney first, or, as I'm doing, the direct route, and that's an overnight ferry, which boards at around 5:30 this evening, and arrives in Lerwick at around 7:30 in the morning, so it's around 14 hours. It might be delayed today because of the weather. But in relation to this trip, normal rules apply. It's my take on Shetland and what I find there, and if there are any handy hints and tips I can give you, I'll endeavour to do so. I want to get on board in a couple of hours and settle in. I may bring you back when I'm on board, but if I don't, I'll see you in Shetland. Well, the truck's been squared away, and I'm now in my cabin. I could have had a normal seat in the communal lounge, or in one of the reclining pods, which is considerably cheaper than this cabin. However, 14 hours, and perhaps longer due to the weather at the moment, on a ferry is a bit too long for me to be uncomfortable in one of those seats, so I've splurged out and had the cabin. I will put the prices of this particular cabin and some of the others, as well as the pods, somewhere on the screen so you can have a look. So if you do decide to come to Shetland, you can decide what level of opulence you want to experience. Added to the price of my ticket is clearly me coming on board, my truck, this cabin, and also access to the Magnus lounge. And that's basically like an airplane lounge on a ferry. But enough chatter. I've got 14 hours to relax in this comfort. I'm going to go and have a look around the ferry now. So I'll see you when I'm in Shetland. That was a crossing and a half, really choppy and bumpy. I only had a few hours of decent kit. However, we are on the North Sea, and you can't have it plain sailing the whole time. I did make a bit of a mistake earlier when I said that this was a direct crossing. It wasn't. We actually did stop off for a short while in Kirkwall in the Orkney Islands, and then from there over to Lerwick in Shetland. So I got that wrong when I booked it, clearly, or misread it anyway. I've just had my breakfast in the Magnus lounge, and the good thing about this ferry company is that breakfast finishes at 8 o'clock. However, you can actually disembark at 7:30, which is in a few minutes, and then get back on the boat to finish your breakfast. As long as you're off by 8:30, all is good. So that's a thumbs up for Northlink. Once I get off, I've got 2 more ferries to catch, and they're the internal ferries, because I'm going to start my journey off right at the north in Unst. Well, that was a really easy ferry crossing. Cost £16 odd to get on. The trip was only about 10 minutes or so. Really comfortable boat as well. I'm on the island of Uyea, but I'm not staying here too long. I'm going to make my way over to the next ferry port and then jump across to the most northern point of the UK, the island of Unst. Crossing is really quick, literally 4 to 5 minutes, so don't even bother getting out of the car. But finally, I'm on the furthest north island you possibly can get in the UK. Welcome to Unst. I'm in Unst, and I've arrived at my first camping spot, the Fold Youth Hostel. Superb place. It's completely empty at the moment, and there are a number of rooms and 5 pitches. The pitches are right by the shore side. Interestingly enough, the price for the pitch and the rooms are exactly the same, £20, so you can decide which you want to do. The camping spots are in a glorious position. It's absolutely magnificent from a point of view. So enough chatter. I'm going to go and set up. that was a windy night, gusts of up to 48 miles an hour, and apparently today it's going to be more or less the same, hence the reason I'm sat taking some shelter in a bus shelter. In relation to the hostel that I've camped by, I really do recommend that if you come to Unst, you give this place a go. It is absolutely spotless, superb facilities, and Alison, the person I booked with, really, really helpful. And Gary, the chap who deals with the day-to-day maintenance, an absolute legend. Can't do enough for you. That said, I'm going to go and hit the road now, do a little bit more of an explore. And in relation to bus shelters, apparently there is a famous one just north of here, so I'm going to go and try and find that and have a look. The wind's picking up now, so I better get on it. Another day, another explore. Well, the wind is still blowing a hoolie, but it looks like I've found it. The world famous Bobby's bus shelter. I'm not quite sure who is responsible for doing this bus shelter, but apparently every so often the theme changes. But today, it's all about the frog. I've just arrived at the village of Score, and I'm here to see the most northerly house in the UK. That's the end of my exploration today on the most northern island of the Shetlands. It's been superb today. A little bit windy, but it is the Shetland Islands and you've got to take the weather as it is. Tomorrow sees me back on the ferry, back over to the middle island of Uyea, and I'll spend a day there and see what delights there are to greet me. But for now, I'm going to tuck into a nice Shetland beer, get some food down my neck and relax for the rest of the day. I'm back on the South Island, and in all honesty, all too quickly. I've had a great time thus far. I've got a day and a half here until I've got to catch the ferry back to Aberdeen, so it's time to have a nose and see what there is to see. Well, that's my Shetland experience almost over and done with. I've got a little bit more trotting around to do, and then 7 o'clock this evening I'm back on the ferry and 14 hours over to Aberdeen, the Shetland Islands. I've been to a few places in my time, and we're quite happy to travel abroad, but we seldom take time out to explore our own back garden. For this trip I wanted a rugged landscape, the exposure and the solitude. It's here in spades. The best thing that I will take from this adventure is 100% the people. I've never experienced this level of kindness, help and support anywhere else, and I think it's all down to that island community. The most northerly islands in the UK, Shetland, has it all. I look forward to my return.